Section 1.2, Day 2. We're going to continue talking about the order of operations and evaluating expressions. The math needed to know for today. Again, applying the order of operations after we substitute variables into an expression. So we have two warm-up problems here. And let's begin with the first one. Okay, the first step is to substitute values into the expression. Notice that when I substitute a -2 in for A, that I make sure to put it in parentheses. We always want to do that. Alright, the next step is to do what's inside of the parentheses. Alright, so I see a set of parentheses here. So what I want to do, I want to evaluate what's inside of it. So -2 times 3, that gives me a -6. So I'm going to have 3 times -6 squared plus 3 times 2 minus 6 times 3. Okay, next thing I want to do is the exponents. Remember, again, the mnemonic to help remember this is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Alright, so parentheses, exponents. So I see that we have a -6 raised to the second power. Be careful with this again. Whenever you're taking a negative number, if you put this into your calculator, make sure you're including the parentheses. So we have 3 times, so -6 squared is the same thing as -6 times -6, which is a positive 36. Whenever you square a negative, you should have a positive number. Alright, plus 3 times, and this should actually, that should be negative and that should be negative. Alright, those should be both be -2. So plus 3 times -2 is -6, minus a -6 times 3 is 18. Alright, now we're going to multiply. So we have 3 times 36. That gives us 108. Plus a -6 is the same thing as just -6, minus 18. Alright, well, there's no division, so let's move to addition and subtraction. So we got 108 minus 6 minus 18. That gives us 84. And that's your answer. So remember, you're multiplying and dividing. So whatever comes first as you look at it from left to right. And the same thing with addition and subtraction. If you look at it from left to right, you perform whatever one comes first. Alright, for the next one, again, the first step is to substitute the values in, and then follow our order of operations. So let's do what's inside the parentheses here. We have a -4 times +1, so that gives us a -4. Okay, next, exponents. So you have a -4 squared. Again, if you're putting this into your calculator, make sure you put parentheses around the -4 and then square it. Whenever you square a negative number, you will always get a positive number in return, because -4 squared is the same thing as -4 times -4. Well, when you multiply two negatives, you get a positive. So you're going to have 2 times -4 times -4 is a positive 16. minus 3 times negative 4 plus 5. Okay, let's multiply and divide. We do whatever comes first as we look at it from left to right. So we have 2 times 16, that gives us 32. And then we have a negative 3 times a negative 4, that's a positive 12, plus 5. Alright, now we add and subtract. We perform whatever operation is first as we look at it from left to right. So there's no subtraction, we're just adding 32, 12, and 5 all together. And that gives us 49. Okay, the word problem of the day, it's a tax problem. Alright, so this is super relevant to your life. If the tax that you pay when you purchase an item is 12% of the sale price, write an expression that gives the tax on the item with the price P. Okay, so we need to write an expression. Remember our three-step process. The first is to look for keywords that would indicate particular operation. Alright, so let's see, we have 12% of the sale price. So let's take that right there and mess with it a little bit. So 12% is the same thing as 12 over 100. And if we take 12 and divide it by 100, right, because that's what a percent is, whatever, something over 100, we're going to get 0.12. Alright, so the shortcut is if something is 12%, take the decimal point and move it over to the left 2, put it there, and then get rid of the percent, so 0.12. Alright, so whatever's easiest for you, but 12% is 0.12. We see the word of. Of means multiply. Alright, and then we have the sale price. Write an expression that gives the tax of the item with price P. Okay, so P, it's telling us, is going to equal the price or the sale price. It's the same thing. Okay, so when we see sale price here, we're going to replace it with a P. So we're now in a position, we've defined our variable, we got multiplication going on based on the keywords from the problem. Now let's go ahead and write the expression that'll tell us the tax on the item. So it's going to be 0.12 P. Alright, and what we just found is how much tax we would be paying. We're paying 12% on whatever the sale price is. Now in the next part it says write another expression that gives the total price of the item including tax. Alright, so total price, what's that going to be? So if we wrote this in words to help you understand, the total price is going to be the sale price okay, plus however much tax you're paying on it, right, and then that's going to equal the total price. Okay, so the sale price, well, what represents the sale price? P. Plus Let me do a different color. This is getting a bit confusing. It's a C. Alright, so the sale price is our variable P, and then our tax. What's our tax? Right here. So it's going to be 0.12 P. So this expression gives us the total price. Alright, I'm going to erase, let's erase some of this. Alright, so we have 0.12 P, that was our tax. And then our total price, the expression for that was P plus the price plus the tax. Alright, so it's going to give us the total price. So now in B, determine the total price including tax of an item that costs $75. So we're given what P is, so we're going to plug in. So P plus 0.12 P. We know that the sale price costs $75, so we're going to substitute 75 in for P. And then we evaluate. So 75 plus 0.12 times 75, and that gives us $84. Alright, so if you buy something, if you're paying 12% sales tax on a $75 item, you're paying $9 in taxes because your total is going to be 84. Okay. Another word problem. So same idea. If the tax that you pay when you purchase an item is 8.25% of the sale price, write an expression that gives the tax on the item with a price P. Okay, so let's look for keywords that would indicate operation being used first. So we see, let's take this 8.25% of the sale price. So the of would mean multiplication. It tells us that our variable, let's define our variable. So P equals the sale price, and then the 8.25%. So the percent means to divide the 8.25 by 100. So if you want to put that in your calculator, 8.25 divided by 100, you get 0.0825. So 0.0825. Again, what you could do is you take the 8.25, move the decimal point over 2 spots. Alright. So whatever you prefer to do. Alright. So let's write the expression that gives the tax on the item. So it's going to be 0.0825 times your sale price, which is P. Alright, and what is this telling us? That's how we would calculate the amount of tax we're paying. Now, write another expression that gives the total price of the item, including tax. So, sale price plus tax is total price. So the sale price is P. The tax is this. So P plus 0.0825P. So that's an expression that would give us the total price. Now we're going to determine the total price including tax on an item that costs $42. So P plus 0.0825P. The sale price is 42, so plug it in for P. Oops. Okay, that'll do it for section 1.2.